Released way back in the late 80s for the Sega Master System, will a fresh coat of paint from Merge Games revitalize this age-old 2D platformer? Or is it simply a mask to hide critical design flaws from a bygone era of gaming? Hey, it's Anthony from TBN, and let's answer these questions in today's episode of Should You Play Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX? Alex Kidd in Miracle World is roughly a 2 to 3 hour experience. Well, maybe 5 if you're anything like me. Though that's because the original developers, Sega, wanted players to persevere and continuously improve upon their Alex Kidd platforming skills, since games back then couldn't hold as much data as they can today. And the fact that early developers would often struggle to strike a balanced level of difficulty. Enter 2021's Director's Cut version, which actually keeps the same hard-as-nails approach, but adds an infinite lives option and a few extra stages, bosses and tweaks to help tide over a broad community of players. While it isn't a major overhaul by any means, these inclusions will help keep veterans on their toes and allow first-timers the chance to steadily progress through the game without getting constantly spanked back to the start. For all you retro gamers out there, Miracle World DX also allows the player to seamlessly switch between the original and HD graphics on the fly. And once you've reached the credits, a classic mode option will be unlocked, allowing the player to revisit the untouched original version. Additionally, a boss rush mode is available where you can fight all the game's big bads back to back in vintage rock, paper, scissors. Wait, what? Rock, paper, scissors? Isn't this a video game? Well, yes, just hear me out. Funnily enough, a majority of the bosses need to be defeated in a best of 3 rock, paper, scissors match first before their real fight begins. I do like this minigame concept in theory, as it is quite unique. However, on your first attempt, it's impossible to know which option to pick, which can often lead to a frustrating, inevitable death. And if you're playing without infinite lives ticked, losing a match is like getting kicked in the teeth. Thankfully, the rock, paper, scissors event will be skipped on a retry if Alex dies on the actual boss fight. Plus, your opponent will always make the same decisions if Alex loses in a best of 3. Because if they didn't, oh boy. Luckily, Alex controls relatively well throughout the game. His jumps feel precise and have just the right amount of weight to them. Although he does slide a little too much. Doesn't help that most of the enemies need to be right up in Alex's grill to land a punch. And since he can only take 1 hit per life, you're gonna stumble into some really stupid deaths. As a result, some parts of the game definitely feel unnecessarily difficult because of that sliding movement. So to help alleviate this issue, Alex can find or purchase items such as a helicopter, motorcycle, projectile attack, shield, and other things to ease through sections which are causing a bit too much grief. That being said, if the game wasn't hard enough already, certain item blocks can summon this Grim Reaper of sorts that relentlessly goes after Alex. The only method of escape is to outrun it off the screen, but this is easier said than done, folks. Most of the time, it'll appear in the most inconvenient locations, and you virtually end up trapping yourself for a mere chance at an item. I did not care for this mechanic at all. On a more positive note, not only do the HD remakes of these stages look absolutely stunning, but most of them are super fun to play and really challenge your platforming prowess. I especially loved blitzing through these levels in a vehicle and those parts where you'd have to break boxes and carve out a path for Alex to progress. But at the same time, a few sections feel very cheap and will occasionally punish you for no particular reason. An infamous scene towards the end of the game has you swimming through the tiniest of gaps in a room littered with insta-death spikes. But what makes this area so difficult is that Alex continuously rises up when swimming. So if you tilt the control stick a centimeter off its axis, you're dead. Oh, you thought you were clear of that spike? Nope. Dead. Oh, you thought you could pass through that gap on the right? Nope. Even more dead. Dead times 50. That's how many attempts it took me to pass that one section. When did this suddenly turn into Kaizo Mario? Somebody tell me. Anyway, the bosses themselves aren't half bad, even if they're not the strongest compared to today's standards. Though like I mentioned earlier, Alex does have to get precariously close to these guys, and he will be tempted to throw your controller into oblivion if he takes a hit. Then again, once you've discovered an easy strategy to cheese them, like I did here with the last boss, they'll go down pretty quickly. But hold on, why are we fighting these creepy, hand-shaped, monster-looking guys in the first place? Well, basically, Alex's brother and his fiancée have been kidnapped. Plus, this evil sorcerer guy has turned almost everyone into stone, so you can probably guess what's gonna happen next. I'm assuming that the other bosses are shaped like hands because of the rock, paper, scissors thing. Regardless, there's not much of a story happening here, to be honest, but Miracle World doesn't really need it. In case you are hungry for more Miracle World lore, the remake team have also added in some NPCs to chat with, but it's more just for world building at the end of the day. So, should you play Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX? Well, if you're looking for a challenge or are a big platformer fan, then buckle up. For everyone else though, it's a lot harder to sell. The entire experience is only around 3 to 4 hours long, and there isn't too much replayability outside of a few collectibles, boss rush, and classic mode. The platforming is pretty good, but we've definitely seen other titles that take this formula to a whole new level. However, if you are looking for that retro feel with updated HD graphics, remastered music, and a couple tweaks to the formula, then Miracle World might just be what you're looking for. Guys, if you enjoyed this vid, give us a thumbs up, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it so you won't miss an upload. This really helps our channel grow too. For a different take on the platformer genre, check out my review of Catherine Full Body, or visit thebetanetwork.net to read my full written review on Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX.